Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids, and today we've got some news kicking off the week in Raid Shadow Legends. Some new stuff. By the way, it's a beautifully sunny day in Ireland. We've just had a few rainy days in a row, so I've left my blind open, which is why I am angelically white. I am a very white man. I'm Irish. We barely see the sun, but I'm not usually this bad. It is just the light. But rather than do my proper lighting, I want to see the sun. We never see it. We've got leaderboards in game, which is cool. You can change your region, which is actually really interesting. This is something we've not seen before, right? The game is just a global server. So you can see the global leaderboards. This is how it's always been, but now it actually breaks stuff down by Asia, North America, Europe, where I'm from, is the default. I actually didn't know that. I know Panda, I think, is based in the UK. I'm not sure about Crypto. And so on. We've got the Oceania, which is cool. South America. Yeah, I think this is bad. Wow, wait, we've got a level 97 dude. Yo, he's top. Level 97 in South America. That's nuts. Level 80, 84 guy is top right now in Dungeons. I guess this is, I don't know. That's actually, we'll see how this stuff goes. We've Africa. I don't remember if I looked at Africa. Asia, any other level? Low level people? Newton James there, Europe, nah. Okay, wow. So there we go. We've the top leaderboards for top three. Sorry, to be top three of a category, you must have taken first place in at least one subcategory. Oh, there's the sun. Hello. We have arenas, classic tag and live arena. I guess that there hasn't been a live arena opening yet. Live arena has been closed since leaderboards have gone up. We've got classic arena, tag team arena. We've got dungeons as well. Can we see teams? If I click... This actually kind of sucks. I'll be honest. This kind of sucks. I want to be able to say, okay, Wong Kaifat, he's number 2. What's he got? What are his teams that are number 2? What are his most used champions? Give me more information. This is, I don't know. There we go. Look, these are the leaderboards. Again, oh, you can change which region you want to compete. Oh, you can actually choose. So I can be like, I'm from Africa now, apparently. I mean, people can move region and stuff. It's just a bit strange. But if people can move region, it's a bit odd that you can just choose it so easily. My worry is that people will just choose the least populated region so they can appear on the leaderboards. I don't know. Dungeons, again, especially for this one. What's Crypto running in Spider? What is he running? That he's number 1. So yeah, that okay. Here we can see our personal ratings as well. Is this just how much they've run them too? It's not like, yeah. I guess it's just how much they've been grinding. Wow, Crypto is number 1 in almost all of them. This dude is a maniac. But yeah. There we go. So leaderboards are live in the game. I feel like it's like a lot of stuff in Raid. It's like background battles. It's like a lot of stuff. Good potential, not realized. Lacking a bunch of the features that you'd really want. Again, I'm never gonna look at this. Why would I ever look at? Why would I care how much people have been grinding Spider? Why would I care? There's no info here. Again, if you showed me their teams, if you had like interesting stat breakdowns, these are the most used champions. Like there's so much that they could do to make this interesting. And I feel like this is, again, Raid, you've done, I feel it's for the bare minimum, unfortunately. We've got functional leaderboards. It looks nice. It's cool. It's fine. Wait, details? No, well, it just breaks down. It breaks down where they've got their points. But again, no, I want to see details here. Unless I'm stupid and I'm missing something, I don't see where we can see it. So a lot more needs to happen there, right? That's leaderboards. Let's look at the progressive chance events. Here we go. Tuesday, 17th of June, that's tomorrow. And then Wednesday, the 18th of June, that is the next day. Both of these days, of course, overlapping with CVC. It's not personal rewards. This is just a chill CVC. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll be able to do my stream because I think this starts at 10 a.m. for me. And then I've got to go to the vet at 11:30 or be at the vet for 11:30. So I don't think I'm going to have time to stream, unfortunately. So yeah, no stream for me tomorrow. I know I hate to say it, but there we go. No stream. Basically, our puppy Fia, she's gonna be 5 months old tomorrow actually, but she got a UTI, which is like, oh my god, it's like Willow all over again. But we think she's fine apart from that. But the UTI has just not gone away after antibiotics, not fully. She seems fine, but they took a urine sample afterwards and they said no, there's still bacteria in there. So yeah, they've got to now check that the sample wasn't contaminated, that she does have the UTI, and then figure out what antibiotics will actually work and get it sorted. Ah, man, so it's all drama. They're like, we might have to sedate her tomorrow because I think I imagine it's fairly invasive. I think they get the urine sample directly from the bladder, which that sounds really unpleasant, to be honest. So yeah, we'll see. It's going to be a fun morning. So no stream for me, but the summons are fun. UTIs are not fun. Vets are nice, but, you know, needing to see the vet is not fun. But these are the summons. So on Tuesday, these are good. Armans, Ragash, Staltus, Thor, Goffred. Then from the Voids, Odin, Riho, and Tunisia. Honestly, these are all exceptionally useful champions for Faction Wars Hard. So if you're struggling on that, they're all very good. Now, I'll tell you right away, Armans is the man to pick up. And I'd say that Odin is also probably equally strong. They're both completely busted. Armans is ridiculous, obviously. Now, Armans does struggle. I've noticed a lot more now as well, especially people getting the free one. But Wand of Submission, this has a chance to reflect the stuns, which happens a lot. It also has the chance to reflect his polymorph. So if his A3 gets reflected, if you reflect, I've got it on him actually, but if you reflect his A3, Armans gets sheeped. He does nothing, and it basically completely wrecks the champion. He just like, it's essentially fairly easy for endgame players to have a 40% chance to just make your champion totally useless. Yeah, which sucks. But there you go. There's an opportunity cost to using the Wand of Submission at least. But yeah, he's still phenomenal though. He's still hard carries Faction Wars, like unbelievably so. And he's still well worth using in Arena. You'll definitely use him in Tag Arena. You definitely want him in your toolkit for Live Arena because he is still really annoying to go against. You don't want to be relying on Wand of Submission. So yeah, I think he's certainly weaker at the high level, at like the very top level. But even below that, like I still pick him all the time. And I'm maxing out the seasonal rewards. Not the leaderboard ones, but the typical milestone ones for each season. I'm maxing those out. I still pick Armans constantly. He's still picked against me constantly. He's still there. So he's the best. Now, Ragash and Staltus, both really good. AoE, defense damage dealers with stuns. Ragash also brings a lot of team protection. Staltus self-buffs before he attacks with increased defense, which is great. Thor is amazing as well. He'd be my second pick here. Thor would be my second pick. I think these are all reasonable as well. Goffred would be probably the weakest one. So I'd be putting them something like this. I love Thor. Thor is just a monstrous damage dealer. He is so good. You want to hear a funny story about Thor? Here's a funny story about Thor. After one of my Faction War videos, as you guys know, we always take Thor's gear for the damage dealers, for the attack damage dealers, for the Faction War stuff. I took gear off Thor, forgot to put it back on, and I was farming Nightmare Campaign. Nightmare Campaign with no gear on, just 3 accessories, an Arethi Coronet, 5-star Nature's Wrath, and this. And he was farming Nightmare 12-6 campaign. I was like, this is a bit in about 30 seconds. I was like, this is a bit slow for my Thor. He usually does it really fast. What's going on? I realized the dude had no gear. Didn't fail. Didn't fail once, and he still did in 30 seconds. That's just ridiculous. Like, absolutely absurd. So, yeah, Thor's pretty darn good. But I do think that Armans and Odin then from the Voids, their impact in Arena pushes them, I think, to the next sort of level. Riho is very strong as well. I probably put her maybe a little bit ahead of these guys, but not by too much. And Tunisia, I put Tunisia as actually pretty much the same caliber as Ragash and Staltus. The one thing to note about her, which I think I forgot to mention when I've talked about this before, it is worth pointing out for Krakens, like if you got a lot of money and you're like, man, what do I do with my Void Shards? I don't know, and all this cash. Well, here's something you can do if you got Void Shards and lots of cash. You can get 4 Tunisias to empower Marius. So there you are. Maybe use her for any stages you need her on hard Faction Wars first, and then get rid of her, I guess. But yeah, oh god, I pressed the pause button literally before I sneezed. You are in luck. That was close. downside of it being sunny, hay fever. It's just the first couple of weeks of June or so seem to be kind of rough. I don't know. But yeah, Tunisia is good. AoE damage as well with stuns. She also has a single target turn meter steal, which I think is really nice. So I'm not a massive fan of her, but she is really strong for Hydra. This AoE burn does go through Poison Cloud. It's a 3-turn burn on a 3-turn cooldown. And she can place decreased speed as well. She can do decent damage. She's a really solid champion. She's just not a super end game champion, is how I would put it. End game, you typically just feed her into Marius, but she is really, really strong for Faction Wars hard. Like, she'll do massive damage. She can steal turn meter, which is, or decrease turn meter, I should say, which is really, really good. Brings decreased defense, single target as well. And yeah, she can protect you from free. She can do a whole bunch of stuff. She's super cool. So I do think she's good for that. But I'd be preferring the other ones over her. Now, that being said, we also have the other day, we've got Wednesday. What about these? Snicktrack, Ancora, Ultimate Death Knight, Helicath, and Brogni. I think this is a weaker day overall. We've got like shielding champions, right? Champs that give you really nice shields. Helicath also gives you 2 turns block damage. Again, he's really good for Demon Spawn Faction Wars, that block damage. And obviously, he's really good for Demon Lord Clan Boss as well. For me, I would say Ancora would be my pick here. I'd put Ancora similar to maybe a little bit behind Thor, actually, but similar. Ancora, brilliant for Arena. She just protects your highest crit damage champion. She protects them from crowd control, which is fantastic. She's got a cleanse with a big shield. She's got a single target revive that resets your skills. Her A1 can reduce your skills. Generally good aura, great base stats. She's a really, really good champion. Thor maybe has a bit more oomph for accounts, right? He's just going to, throw Thor in. Massive damage, like up to the late game, even in Arena. You could even run him in endgame Arena potentially against, like, he ignores Unkillable, doesn't it? I don't think he ignores block damage on Unkillable, which is kind of juicy. We're going to talk about that in a second. He's got some potential there, though he's super squishy in Arena. But just huge damage for any wave-based content, huge damage for Hydra. Yeah, he's a really good champ. So I'd probably be, if you said, Nub, give up your Thor or Ancora, that'd be a tough one. I've got Narses. If you got Narses, it becomes more difficult. But I'd probably keep my Thor. Might give up the Ancora, which is insane to say. But I just really like Thor. What can I say? Snicktrack is good, but I put him sort of similar to Goffred. Maybe a bit more I didn't mention Goffred, but AoE stun. Great passive to keep you alive. He's a good champ. He's definitely worth using and building, but he's not a high priority. I feel similarly for Snicktrack. Ultimate Death Knight, I'd actually put him probably somewhat similar as well. Again, he's a great little champ for Arena against single target damage, but there's sort of constant power creep happening. He's like a niche pick. But I feel like Ultimate Death Knight, apart from the enemies he specifically hard counters, so he can really stall out a Siegfried, which is really nice by absorbing the Siegfried's A3. He can really stall out a Rotus and some other stuff like that. But against a lot of champions, he sort of slows you down losing, but he doesn't always help you with winning, is how I sort of feel about him. I put him a bit higher, though, than these. It's a useful thing. I don't know. I'll put him similar to these guys. He might be a useful toolkit to have in Arena, but he's not strictly necessary, I think. But he is very good. He does something very unique. So he's cool. Helicath, he's great. Again, I put him... I'll put these all similar. Ragash, Staltus, UDK, Helicath. I'll put them all as fairly similar. And then Brogni, again, I'd be putting as pretty similar. Maybe a bit below. Brogni is a little less broadly useful, but he is particularly good for Faction Wars, right? Block debuffs, increased attack, big shield. The shield can't be removed. And then he's healing you off the shield. He's great. Really nice. Not too many endgame uses for him. I'll put Goffred a bit higher. I do like Goffred, but there you go. You can use Goffred in some of the similar circumstances. You use Ultimate Death Knight, for instance, just to stop that one Siegfried A3. Or Goffred actually does stop the Rotus killing someone with the A3 as well, which is cool. Then we come to the Voids, and this is spicy. Warlord, Nekret, and Neve. Irish name. Neve, I might put her this high. Warlord is great. He's really good. I'd be putting Warlord as quite solid to have an exceptional for Orc faction crypts, which is important now with hard mode. Nekret, he's really solid. And again, I'd be putting Nekret as pretty good. Necret gets hard countered, of course, by enemies who ignore ally protection and shield, and there's a few. And like Narses particularly wrecks him. But if they're not there, he is really strong for protecting your squishy damage dealer. So there's lots of squishy damage. Like Thor is a great example. Thor with a Necret to back him up, way stronger than Thor without one. But I think the best protection champ, I actually think she's possibly the best Void Legendary here. I think this chick's insane. I actually really do. I fought against her yesterday in Arena, and I was like, yikes. Neve, Spear of Nyresa. I don't know how to pronounce that properly. Nyresa? Yeah, I don't know, but Neve would be how you pronounce that. It doesn't usually have an E on the end, but there you are. Block damage on all allies at the start of the round, and every time she goes below 50% HP. So what I've run into, which is super nasty, I think actually might show up in my, let's see, will it show up in my battle log? I want to shout out the player. It was a super cool, yeah, I lost to him. Cecilia, maybe it's a she actually, but this was her team. She was running. Now there's a Galathier in there as well, but it's these 5 champions. But she picked Gallius and Neve, right? I think I actually banned Neve the second time and I lost, but she had Neve in a 9-piece protection set, I think, and with the relic that we all now know and love, of course, from the event dungeon, Golden Elixir. When you drop below 50% HP, you instantly get healed. And you build a really high HP. You build her a 9-piece protection. I think that's what they were running anyway. And this champion becomes a real pain to deal with because you get this protected block damage. And I was like, I normally use Gallius as my ignore block damage champion. So I was actually stuck in Arena. So I was doing live Arena and went, who else ignores block damage? Off the top of my head, I didn't know, right? I'm like, well, I use Gallius all the time. He's really good for it against Odins and Siegfrieds, etc. But this player took Gallius in like one of their first picks. And I said, oh shit, well now I can't pick my Gallius. What else still gets past block damage? I don't know. And again, this can stop AoE hits, right? If it hits her first and it triggers the block damage, it will stop the AoE hits, keep the rest of them alive. She also brings block debuffs, ally protection. That's also likely to be protected with a big heal, which can push her high enough as well to, once again, have her passive ready to go. Her A2 can be a massive shield if it kills a target. And she has, it's always critical if you're low on life. It reduces ally skills. Her A1, decrease attack crit rate with a chance that they can't be resisted or blocked. Like, this champ is legit. This champ is legit. Very annoying to deal with. An amazing go second champion. And yeah, you just give them protection set and you've got all these protected buffs. And yeah, unless you know, good ignore. I've also saw like a 9-piece protection Emic run to pretty good effect as well recently in Arena. So yeah, some like fun 9-piece protection champions coming out from enemy players, which is pretty sick. But especially the passives is tough to deal with. Because there's not that many champions with reliable block passive skills. I think she's really good. So I actually sort of more scared of her than I am of Odin, to be honest. Yeah, I'd be more scared probably to fight a Neve than to fight an Odin at this point. I guess somewhat of that is because I'm just used to fighting Odin. But yeah, genuinely, that's sort of how I feel about it. So there we go. Those are my thoughts, and you have to believe me because I'm angelically white and beautiful. No, none of my wrinkles are visible. They're all being bleached to whiteness. But yeah, there we go. They are the summoning events. Again, although they're really good, for me personally, I'm probably not going to do them because we know there's going to be a big summoning event for the Titan event, and I've been doing all the events so far. I certainly want the Gilded Pinion. I don't know. Maybe I'll be skipping just a bunch of summoning events in a row because I'm really not that pushed about his 5-star soul, to be honest. But yeah, we'll see. But these are good summoning events. You know, Arman's Thor, and Korra. Definitely, there's 3 champions that are absolutely worth burning pity on if you're close to it, or at least worth considering. Certainly, Arman's would be the strong pick there for me. And then Odin and Neve, both absolutely worth it. And then you could certainly make an argument for Riho. You could certainly let's put Riho and Warlord fairly equal. Maybe Riho a bit behind, Warlord a bit ahead, but they're both very reasonable picks. Even Necrot, I think, is kind of underrated by people, and he can be really, really useful. So lots of great champs. That's sort of my thoughts on it. But for me, probably not pulling. It's just non-personal reward CVC. Again, reminder, no stream this time. Back for the next CVC. Touch wood. And yeah, guys, thanks for watching. That's it. I will see you tomorrow. Yeah, well, I'll see you later today for Faction Wars video, and I'll see you tomorrow for another vid, unless there's more surprise news. We'll see. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time. Goodbye.